It feels as if everyone is making a live service game, but that doesn't mean everyone is playing them. The surge of live service titles has created an industry littered with the corpses of games that just couldn't manage to break through to the mainstream. For every Arc Raiders is a Concord or Highguard, and while the titles that failed have redeeming qualities, the genre itself demands that a game must be successful at launch. Should they stumble out of the gate, the games will soon be shut down and the studio behind them will follow soon after. As someone who's been playing video games since the original Xbox and has spent countless hours in multiplayer matches, you'd think that the live service trend would appeal to me. However, what made that era in the 7th generation stand out was that oftentimes the multiplayer was an addition to the game, not the entire point of it. If you bought Halo 2 or Gears of War, you first played the campaign, and then the multiplayer kept you coming back. While there was progression in the multiplayer aspect of the game, it wasn't designed around it. There are no battle passes and no fear of missing out on something usually important if you took some time away from it. These days, developers have been put into an untenable position, one dictated by shareholders instead of their own vision. It makes sense when the people at the top want to enter the live service space. Instead of having a one-time bump of money when a game releases, these titles can be cashed in on in perpetuity. However, that's only if they catch on at all. We've only just finished Q1 of 2026, and we already have had one high-profile live service disaster, Highguard, which was released on January 26, 2026, and was developed by Wildlight Entertainment, a studio consisting of developers who had worked on such titles as Apex Legends, Call of Duty, and Titanfall. Despite the impressive pedigree, Highguard failed to catch on with players, only reaching a peak of 97,249 players, but that peak didn't last long. As such, the game was shut down on March 18th, not even a full 3 months after it was released. New studios aren't the only ones struggling to capture the zeitgeist. Bungie, the developers behind Halo and most recently Destiny 1 and 2, have struggled to find huge success with their latest title, Marathon. Marathon is an extraction shooter that really had its thunder stolen by the surprise hit Arc Raiders. Despite receiving decent reviews, it currently has an 82 on Metacritic. The game has struggled to find its footing. Paul Tassi of Forbes recently did a deep dive into how the game is faring post-launch. From his article, quote, "About 2 weeks ago, analyst firm Alina estimated that Marathon had sold 1.2 million copies across all platforms. I confirmed with my Bungie source that it was close to accurate. Marathon had previously hit number 2 on Steam revenue chart ahead of launch." Close quote. It's difficult to know how successful the game truly is, as the numbers on Xbox and PlayStation aren't front-facing, but Tassi confirms that Steam is where the bulk of the players reside. Quote, "As I previously reported, the majority of Marathon's player base is on Steam. As confirmed by our sources, Alina reports it as 70%. Since launch just over a month ago, those peaks on Steam have dropped by 68%, where the game most recently hit a 27,670 peak at the time of writing." Tassi writes that he believes that Marathon players fell off due to the difficulty of the game. I feel like that's a pretty accurate assessment. What separates Arc Raiders from Marathon is that Arc Raiders provides players with more choice around the type of experience that they have. Due to a matchmaking system that pairs players who play more aggressively with each other, while less aggressive players who are more focused on PvE are also matched with one another. In a way, the game caters to two different types of audiences at once, whereas Marathon is only for the more PvP-focused gamer. Those players are likely already spending their time with games like Escape from Tarkov. The live service genre is cutthroat by nature. You really have to pick one game to invest your time into, otherwise, you run the risk of falling behind other players and having a truly negative experience. Catching lightning in a bottle like Arc Raiders is currently doing, or Fortnite had done in the past, is so unlikely. We saw many studios rise and fall chasing the dragon that was the Battle Royale live service game. Now we're likely to see just as many fail trying to be the next great extraction shooter, including an upcoming extraction shooter with Disney IP from the makers of Fortnite. I truly believe studios would find more success if they focused on making a product that they're passionate about that doesn't need to live or die with concurrent players. Capcom has proven that a single-player title that leans into the strengths of the studio can prove successful with the sales of Resident Evil Requiem. Within just a few weeks, the ninth mainline Resident Evil game has sold over 6 million copies and doesn't require gamers to play endlessly. So, what do you think? Should studios stop trying to create the next great live service game, or am I totally off base and the risk is worth the reward? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what your favorite live service game is and whether or not it's still active. I know there's just been so many. I mean, off the top of my head, PUBG, of course, Overwatch, the finals, the list really is endless. So I'd love to hear what your favorite ones are. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. We have new videos coming out every week here on the channel. Also, check out our other channels, which include Those Fake Nerds, where we cover nerd and pop culture news, Where You Get Sports, where we cover sports news, Better Radio, which hosts all of our podcasts, and our newest channel, History is Wicked, where we cover cryptids, urban legends, and weird history stories. Again, thank you so much for checking this one out, and I will see you in the next one.